Mike Davis is breaking news. Mike, help me out here. I thought Merrick Garland, these guys are sworn. I thought they were all rule of law people, and we're all terrible, and we got to go to prison, and we got to do this. A federal judge came in and said, look, I just want to say, do a complete stand down on this Jack Smith report. This is just another way to smear Trump, this Jack Smith report. My phone's blowing up now. They're telling me that Merrick Garland has decided on his own to give it to the committee for a camera review. Can you explain to me what's going on and how could that possibly be legal, sir?
Yeah, Jack Smith brought two bogus cases against President Trump. There is the case in D.C. with D.C. Obama Judge Tanya Chutkan, where Jack Smith charged President Trump for the non-crime of objecting to a presidential election, which is allowed by the Electoral Count Act of 1887 and the First Amendment. The second case that Jack Smith brought was down in Florida for the non-crime of a former president having his presidential records in the office of former president, which is allowed under the Presidential Records Act. Jack Smith charged Trump with espionage for that, right? And so the January 6th case in D.C. has been completely thrown out against President Trump, and he was the only defendant. Down in Florida, the case was thrown out against Trump because he's the president-elect, but there are two other co-defendants. And here's what they're trying to do with this special counsel report. It is a one-sided political drive-by shooting, a last-ditch effort by Merrick Garland and Joe Biden and their henchman, Jack Smith, to do this smear of President Trump with this one-sided report. If they issue this report, it's President Trump can't respond to it in a courtroom. He can't call witnesses. He can't present his own evidence. He can't confront their witnesses. It is a political drive-by shooting. And with the case in D.C., it looks like Jack Smith is going to release that report with the Chutkan case, and then with the Florida case, Jack Smith, it looks like he says he's not going to release the report publicly because there are two other co-defendants, but he's going to let members of Congress. Merrick Garland and Jack Smith are going to have members of Congress do what they call an in-camera review, which means a private review. And I'll tell you, for someone who's worked in Congress in both the House and the Senate, if you give members of Congress anything in-camera review, it's going to leak out to the public immediately. This is bogus. This is unprecedented. And it's very interesting. You would think, as a lawyer and as an officer of the court like Merrick Garland is, he would want to be very careful, because not only does he have his duties in the Justice Department, including the Office of Professional Responsibility, he also has obligations to the bars to which he is admitted. And it is unethical for lawyers to put out one-sided reports like this when there aren't charges pending.
But this is, we're asking these guys are going to get it, and they're going to take the most stuff that Smith has slanted in the worst way, and they're going to leak that to the media. So you're just going to get the New York Times and MSNBC. They're going to have a mantra the week before President Trump is inaugurated, to try to smear President Trump. I mean, that's the purpose, right?
That's the purpose. That's the purpose of Merchan in New York trying to sentence Trump on January 10th. That's the purpose of Merrick Garland's trying to release this deranged Jack Smith's one-sided political drive-by shooting. And I would say to these guys, have fun now. Have fun. I hope you enjoy your fun like petulant children throwing your peas against the wall, because guess what? On January 20th at noon, President Trump's going to get inaugurated, and it's going to be the Trump 47 Justice Department. And listen, boys, we're going to go from you guys being the hunters to the Trump 47 Justice Department being the hunters. You're going to go from being the hunters to the hunted on January 20th at noon. So keep having fun, keep throwing your peas on the wall, because this is going to come back and bite you in the ass.